Well, first of all, I hope to represent the group of folks in Ashley's life that are from Mark Day School, formerly St. Mark's. Ashley is a teacher formerly of St. Hilary's. So there's a little bit of, a lot of former stuff going on. So what I'd like to do is start all of this.
He's about to be my former friend.
I would like to start all of this with a solemn prayer, and then we will move on. And I've got nothing. So what I'm going to do is simply turn it over to Gila, who is going to begin a procession that's very important to Ashley and Jan, and we will go from there.
Thank you, Chris. My name is Sheila, and
Microphone.
now. So we had. Is this too loud? No, it's okay. So we had Jan and Ashley over for dinner a couple months ago, and we heard about a very special backpack that they have. And they were teachers at St. Hilary's. And they were in mass with all the children, all the students. And apparently, Ashley kept nudging Jan. Hey, do you have chewing gum? Hey, do you have chapstick? Hey. So we thought that we would put together our own Mark Day School backpack. And so this is what's in our backpack.
We have some chapstick, some organic Juice Beauty chapstick. All of our sons are in the 3rd grade together. The school goes to 8th grade, so we have 5 more years of ridiculous, goofy times that we can preserve in books for you. Ashley, I'm going to protect all the terrible texts that you have sent me over the years.
Well, I can't wrap this up.
I have something totally different to say.
Hi, sweetheart.
So I just want to share with you that Ashley's older than I am, and I look up to you, and I can't wait to learn and all of the wisdom that you have to share with me. And I have to say that Terry and I had coffee earlier today, and we were talking about some of that beautiful wisdom. And I want to share with you some of the things that I'm going to just take to heart. Let me see. Excuse me. Hold on. Oh, you are stupid, and my mother loves you. Shit. Oh, so sorry. The other one I love. Just you and your fellow tards is fine. I'll leave it at that. I have to say that I'll take those beautiful words to heart, and I'll learn. And when I turn 50, maybe you can share some of my wisdom with all my friends.
Next week, by the way.
Did you turn this off? I don't.
Oh. Oh. All right, I think that it is obvious, it is clear that I did not step up to the mic in time. I apologize.
Sorry.
Just wanted to give you courage.
Yeah, I have courage. That's terrific. Okay, first of all, I want to welcome everybody here because obviously it is a great pleasure to have so many of Ashley's close friends. And you've already figured out that there are people here from Mark Day because they are not like hiding behind anything. Mark Day, glad to see you. We have a lot of people here from St. Hilary. Where are our St. Hilary people? We have people from San Francisco State. Ashley's program when she was becoming the marine biologist that you all know and love. We have pipers and drummers scattered about the room. We have poker players, or former poker players. We used to have a poker group until the real poker person dropped out, and now we call it poker, but we don't play it. We have a bunch of family. Are you family? And then we have a whole category that is friends, but that's actually everybody. That encompasses everybody. We had a terrific summer. Ashley has been turning 50 for months now. She has spent time with Middlebury friends back east and with some of her camp friends up in Tahoe, and now with all of you here, and so that's been wonderful. There are a few thank yous that I should do before we move on to the meatier, well, return to the meatier portion of the evening. We want to thank Ashley for being born and for having such great friends. And if you haven't taken a little time, and it looks like a lot of you have, to meet people here whom you never met before, then you're missing out. I don't think we've ever had a party where someone didn't come to me afterwards and say, "You know, such nice people." Of course, they don't see all the sides of you, but you know. I want to thank Tom Silla, Mr. Wine, who is recording the next section of this for us for posterity. We really appreciate that very much. Cece, there you are. Hopefully you all found the place because of Cece's balloons on the anchor at the corner. Okay, the directions are a little difficult to give. But I had asked Giselle, could you please, she's bringing balloons. I'm bringing balloons, I have to pick them up. I said, oh good, could you stop and put one on the anchor? And she said, they're not that kind of balloon. And she was absolutely right. Giselle is responsible for all the jellies and the these urchins. She's also responsible for the candles and the millions of dahlias and probably about 30 other things I can't even think of. There she is, right there. Thank you. You know, we have Annie and Patty. Annie and Patty probably came very close to divorcing me this week. I've got some pictures. Can you put them in a slideshow? And I did ask, in my defense, I asked them what the appropriate number would be. I got no response, so I came up with 1,000. And they didn't like that. In fact, the 3 a.m. text or email from Annie was, holy crap, and I mean that in the best possible way. So I cut it down. I was brutal. I cut it down to 966. That didn't impress them either. So I went back and I took it right down to 340 or something, and I was pretty proud of myself. They put together this whole slideshow, which I hope you've been enjoying.
Who is that?
And also some other things that will become apparent as the evening goes on. I can't say anymore. Let's see, I was going to talk about who's in charge and how you might think it's me, but then you would come to your senses and say, no, it's probably Ashley, but that's because you haven't met Giselle. Okay, so we talked about doing a roast. Thank you for leaping in to pave the way. Here's what I want to say. I know that there's some stuff that's planned and a couple people who really put a lot of thought into this. It's going to be very, very fun and exciting. I want you to think back to the last memorial service you went to. Okay, I'm not trying to make you down, but think about sitting there and being that person who the whole time thought, God, I know this really good story and I should tell it, but I don't know, I get nervous when I'm up there. And all of a sudden it's over, and there's you driving home thinking I should have gotten up and said something. So don't be that person tonight. If you've got a story you want to tell, or whatever, please do it. There's going to be time for everybody, I hope. And then you will find out very shortly that there are people who are not even here who took the time to do that. They will entertain you, I'm sure. And now I know that Ashley has some thoughts and things she wants to say, but I don't know if you want to do that now or after you've been roasted to a crisp.
Oh no, I'm taking notes.
Okay. That's what I thought. So I think we're ready to go. We're going to start, I believe, with a video presentation. Is that right, Annie, Patty? Here's Patty. You should have her on your team whenever possible. Okay? All right, thank you all very much. Glad you're here, and we love you. That's why you got an invitation.
Tell you guys
Microphone.
that, oh, you can't hear me back there? I microphones. Really?
It's right here.
Okay, all right. I'm microphone phobic, but, ooh, okay. I have to tell you before I start that I wrote this at 4:30. And the other thing is I was also told that it was a roast. And the concept of a roast is that you say mean things and then, you hope they're funny. And people have been saying just really nice things about Ashley, but I wrote it and now it's on paper and now I have to read it. So I'm a little worried that my funny to mean ratio is too low.
It's already coming.
You have to humor me. I'm a nice person. Okay? That's my little caveat. Okay, here it comes. I'm not quite 50, but I still need we started losing our eyesight about the same time. All right. I am here to do my non-Catholic best to represent St. Hilary School. Thank you. I also have to tell you, I'm also a little worried that there are way too many little in-jokes, and the only people that are laughing will be right over there. And also I have to tell you, in trying to solicit help from my colleagues, I discovered that teachers are really bad roasters. We just want to say good things about people, and anything critical we bury in praise so it's not recognizable. So I'm going to try to be mean, even though most of what we came up with to say about Ashley were good things and things that we missed about her. And I want to look at her, but she's on the other side of a post. So can I stand here? Thank you. I did come up with a few observations, though, about Ashley. And we're hoping to read about it someday in her autobiography, The Heathen's Handbook to Successfully Infiltrating a Catholic School and Surviving for 17 Glorious Years. I have to apologize to any children in the room. Here it comes. All right, with chapters like the Rosary, what the fuck is that? They're all just chanting the same thing over and over again. That's an Ashley quote. Or the chapter on mass conduct. Oh geez, are we standing again? Or kneeling? I'm just going to sit here and put my feet on this footrest. Or the chapter on religious symbols called, oh look, Brillo Pad Jesus. Raise your hand if you've ever been in St. Hilary Church. Okay, so you should have been laughing. Brillo Pad Jesus. Right. So next time, if you ever go to St. Hilary's, when you walk in the entrance, look straight up. Okay, Brillo Pad Jesus. She did that to me on her first Mass in her very first year, so I was trying not to pee myself all through our first Mass. Very much, actually. There's a chapter on using videos with your students so that you can check Facebook while you're teaching. Sorry. Honestly, I think the kids weren't sure sometimes if their science teacher was Ashley Ransom or Bill Nye. It's supposed to be a roast. That was me.
You're supposed to not apologize.
All right. And the instructional techniques chapter called How to Light a Table on Fire. And I mean that literally, not figuratively, like dancing on it. And really, Ashley, that thing you do, you know that thing you do? It doesn't really qualify as dancing. You're not Ellen. I said it's a roast here. All right, I'm almost done. And then there are a myriad other things that we will always associate with Ashley, like open bars at weddings. Yeah. Bible study. Bring your own Bible. And I'll never be able to hear the words suction or friction, my two favorite horses, without thinking of Ashley. Finally, I need to leave you with some imagery that I have burned in my head. 3 words: dental floss thong. It doesn't go on your foot. And always remember to ask yourself, WWAD, what would Ashley do? And then don't do it.
Good evening. I know most of you are probably surprised that I'm standing up here. You probably don't even know who I am. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Ashley's thinking, what? Wait, you've only been in this family for, 0 days. But I've got notes from a very good friend. And so I'm going to use these to let you guess who I'm going to introduce. So I'm going to actually make up most of this. They mean somebody to in this audience, but not to me really. But, so, if you'll recall, it was my first year at summer camp. And I was sitting, and I was upset, I was crying, it was my first year away. You were a senior at this point, you had been there for, it was like your 4th year. You started at 8 and I was 12. And you put your arm around me and you said, it's gonna be okay. This is actually better than home. That's who I am. I've got a note here about leeches. I actually have a healthcare background, so let me just tell you how this story's gonna go. When you have bruises, we put leeches on them in hospitals to suck the blood out. I'm just gonna leave that at that. You guys can use your imaginations. But do you remember when we used to raid the kitchen and you would stick your ass out and you'd be like, woo, woo. Remember that moment? Well, where do you think I'm gonna go next? What do you think was in the kitchen? Alcohol. We used to get drunk on sherry wine. Have you guys ever had that? That big bottle of Carlos, whatever it was. Yeah. We mixed it with Capri Sun. It was awesome. And if you haven't done it, you should. And then Ashley wanted to introduce me to smoking. Cover your ears. She said, this is how cigarettes are made. We take dry grass and roll it in paper. And that is what we would smoke. Not good on the lungs. But we turned out all right. But the hangovers, they were horrible. Horrible, those hangovers. Now, I have to tell you about the first story of my first boyfriend. She's older, she had all the experience. Right? I'm older, you're older? I don't know.
You're older.
But,
You're older.
I'm trying to make you younger. Just kidding. So I said, got this boyfriend opportunity, you know, a little pressure. Kissing, how does that work? She said, have you ever stuck your tongue in a glass of ice cubes? Swirl it around for a few seconds and telling me how it goes. That's how she taught me kissing. So with that, Ashley already knows who I'm talking about. I'd like to introduce Cece, longtime friend, great opportunist to let me stand up here and introduce her, so thank you so much, Cece. I'll let you take it from here.
You're amazing. I would assume you got that right away. So I'm not sure if I should. Can you hear me?
Mike.
Yeah? No? I'm not sure. Well, I'll just start where I was going to sort of start. I met Ashley when she was 11 and I was 12. And I'm going to do a little recap. we were at camp, and the story was true. I was sitting on a rock and I was sobbing my eyes out because I was homesick, and God knows why, and it's true. Ashley said that everything was going to be all right, and at that moment, for some reason, I believed her. And a couple weeks down the line, we made the realization that we both lived in Greenwich, and from there we became fast and furious friends. We started as campers, and then we went to what was called counselors in training, and then we went to be counselors. And we got in more trouble, and I won't really bore you, as Lucy said, with all the camp stories, but I think I should probably elaborate on the ass story. So one night, Ashley and I were starving, and we went into the kitchen, which was your typical 1950s kitchen. It had a walk-in fridge, and then it had a smaller sort of walk-in fridge. And Ashley decided that I needed to crawl into the smaller walk-in and see what we might be able to grab. And so I'm in there, and I am digging for gold, and my ass is sticking out of there. And all of a sudden I hear, "What are you doing?" And it was our waterfront director, whose name was Gail, but we called Gail the male, because everybody was absolutely scared shitless of this woman. And, I come sort of crawling backwards out of the walk-in, and I look around thinking, Ashley's gonna be right here to, take one for the team for me, and she's nowhere to be found. So it was Gail the male and I, had a smackdown. But, I met my first boyfriend in Ashley's driveway. And I think I may have kissed my first boyfriend in Ashley's driveway. And, the boyfriends just sort of went downhill, all starting in the driveway. Should have known then. But really, I need my specs because I guess I'm old, as Ashley says. When Ashley introduces myself, she always says, "This is my oldest friend." I can't quite decide if I should have a cane, an iron lung, or what she expects me to have. But I did want to say, as one of Ashley's oldest friends, I do want to say the only greater privilege than being a part of each other's lives for the last 40 years is being able, as such, to totally disregard her various suggestions, recommendations, directives, commands, decrees, and mandates. While we have been charged with roasting the guest of honor, and while Ashley and I have certainly been baked, cooked, burnt, stewed, fried, toasted, smoked, sauced together on countless occasions, I will see my roasting done to others. I do want to say about Ashley, and I'm totally going off against the grain and not going to go down the roast path as much, but Ashley's been an amazing friend to me. And, I look at the time when she came out to me, and, I didn't care at all what Ashley was. I just really, to me, it mattered what Ashley was all about. And our friendship has gone, we've been friends through camp, and then we sort of lost each other during college, and we'd sort of float back in each other's lives when we both needed each other. And it was always, to me, our friendship was kind of divine intervention. You would never think that she and I would be friends. I'm kind of frilly and lipsticky, and, Ashley's not so much. And even though we're very different, we run very parallel. And, it's been an honor to me to be friends with you for the last 40 years and watch you and Jan, and you raise a child to me. It's just, when you and I were guzzling back cocktails at camp, the last thing I thought was that I would be standing here speaking at your 50th birthday party, and that you'd have an 8-year-old. I just don't really know how that happened, but it's been nothing but a joy to be on this ride with you, and I absolutely adore you. I'll just leave this up here.
I've got nothing good to say about Ashley at all. And I don't know if I'm the only one, but from day one, Ashley calls me hurtful names. It's dork, super dork, big dork, and there's the ever popular loser. Oh my God, you're such a loser, you big dork. Loser, dork, all those things go down. It's horrible. I have no particular fantastic memories with Ashley other than the time she talked me into drinking rum. Rum was the new drink. We're all going to drink rum. We go to Bevmo. We get rum. I drink rum. I end up vomiting all night long. That was, hey, good times. That was awesome. So the names, the vomiting, and there's a time when she encouraged me to play baseball with her son. So I'm getting my glove on, I'm looking around, getting going. Next thing you know, Bodie drills me right in the nads. I double over, drop, I'm crawling away. I'm done. All done here. So anyway, the name calling, the vomiting, the shots to the nads, it's been great. It's fantastic. So, I just wish you from one Giants fan to another, from one ex-rum drinker to a drinker of anything. I wish you a very happy 50th, you total dork.
Good evening. I kind of made some notes here because I figured at this point of the evening my mind would be wandering, which it is. To those of you who don't know me, my name's Rebecca, and I'm one of 3 people who shares DNA with Ashley. In this room. Yes, thank you. Fact checker, I want, keep going.
Other people share the day.
We're first cousins, and Ashley moved out here in '92 to California, but basically we didn't really get to know each other as well as we do now. Over the years, we'd go back east and visit, and she was the little punky cousin who lived in Greenwich, who had these crazy-ass half-brothers who were very entertaining and continue to be. But anyway, tonight when Jan said, actually she sent us an email yesterday saying, I hope someone could roast on behalf of the family. I like lots of runway to kind of gather my thoughts, but I got a little nervous because I didn't know exactly what that meant, and so after what happened to Justin Bieber most recently, I thought, I want to kind of keep a good relationship going, so I actually looked up roast, and I know we're not going to cook you by prolonged exposure to heat in an oven or over a fire, but it was kind of an interesting concept of subjecting the honoree to what it says is good-natured ridicule. And considering that my mother-in-law and father-in-law and my mother in the room, it did change the rating on what I was going to say to you. So that's good, actually, on everyone's behalf. I'll save that for another time, maybe with the rum guy. Basically, let's get the science stuff out of the way. Yes, we share DNA, genes, and the most kind of conclusive evidence about that is our love of condiments. Anyone who knows Ashley knows that it's all about the condiment in our family. Food is just a vehicle to get the condiment into your body. And my mother, from a very hallowed line of mayonnaise-eating people. Anyway, if you look in either of our refrigerators, there is at least a good third of the refrigerator dedicated to condiments. And so anyway, that's one bit of evidence. The other thing is, most people, when we're together, because of our genes, just have trouble identifying who's who. They think, they call us the twins, basically. And so it's very confusing upon first meeting of people, but after a while they can discern the two, who's who. Anyway, the fact that my cousin grew up in Greenwich, and there was a part of her life that I didn't know, the one thing that I did come to learn is that she pretty much worships the monogram. And, that was a thing where our Aunt Louise, who lives in New York City, would always send Christmas gifts with a monogram. And I was so confused by this. Why would I want my letters on something? But then I can see how it evolved over the years, because I think it's fantastic that we have a logo for you turning 50. That is the new monogram. And all I can say is I can hardly wait to see what you produce for menopause, what the logo will be for that one. You've set the bar high already, so. As you might guess, Ashley and I share a love for sarcasm, and it's part of what I hope keeps our brains stimulated. And Ashley and I also share a love for I don't want to call it destruction of the English language, but Ash always finds a very interesting way to pronounce words, such as being a scientist, instead of buttocks, it's butox. And of course, carrying that on to Bodhi, which is so darn confusing to him. He's acclimated. I think he's part scared, part like he realizes this is sort of a survival thing. And the fact that we went to Disneyland together earlier this year, and when he was very young, he would call us Beck and Tom, my husband Tom, and Beck Tom turned into rectum. So whenever we were coming over, it was like, rectum is coming over. Well, he didn't know what that was, but now he does. And quite clearly, in fact, Ash and Jan gave me a plushie rectum on the trip. And I love it, but I gotta tell you, our house cleaner is pretty disturbed by it, and she throws it behind the couch every time she's there. So anyway, she's not in on the joke yet, so. Let's see. Oh, of course, there's your college, Dingleberry. The Dingleberries, and there's other little inside jokes, like her friends from St. Hilary's were saying, and I'll save that for another time. I love the fact that my cousin can make, is like a professional vacationer. Every summer, I know even before she was a full-time teacher, it's like taking it to a higher art, and one that I hope to emulate someday. So thank you for showing the way. And the other thing is her seriousness around entertaining. I mean, she is, and Jan, a consummate entertainer. They are always the ones who open their home to have everyone over and make everyone feel so welcome. And I'm equally glad that you went to bartending school, because that's come in handy. But no, on a more serious note, besides being an entertainer, you are just the best friend possible to everyone you know, and you have a huge talent. Not a talent, it's just who you are. You make everyone feel special, whoever they are, and it's genuine, and that's not something that you learn how to do, it's just who you are. And I'm really grateful. This is a very odd moment where I'm actually being serious. I'm very grateful that you're my friend and my relative. It doesn't always work out that way. And I'm also, when I was trying to think of what adjectives I would use to describe you that I could say in front of my mom and my in-laws, I started thinking they would flood out of my brain. Silly, kind, loyal. And then I thought, wait, am I thinking of my dog right now? Wait, I should back up for a second, because that's, but, you know, then I was like, good driver, not the dog. Good at math, not the dog. So anyway, patient, fun, loving, all these things that make you not only a great friend, but a great mother to Bodhi. And I just am so grateful that you actually think I have something to give to Bodhi as one of his godparents. And I may add a couple of extra years on his therapy. I'm so sorry. And I promise to contribute to whatever that is. But he's darling, and you and Jan are just raising a wonderful child. So if I had a glass, here's to you, cuz. I love you.
Well, I have been brought in all the way from the North Woods.
You gotta get your mic.
Oh, Mike. I have been brought in all the way from the North Shores of Wisconsin to introduce to you the very first time on this side of the Atlantic or the Pacific, and they are going to be really great. So I'd like you to give a hearty welcome to Iggy. Where's Iggy? Iggy and the Ashettes. They're performing tonight. Their hit, Up for Ransom.
Hi, should've known we'd be lassoed. Bodhi, Jan, chicken point crew. Songwriting master, she's all that. She's a mom and a boob. She's a dork too. In the classroom, setting things on fire. Making pencil science, yeah, nothing gets her higher. Except maybe fuck jokes. You know it's Mr. Hanky. For mixing up drinks, that'll help you if you're cranky. Things don't come in blue, she won't wear it. She'd rather bear it. Sounds like Ashley to me. Spends her time by the deep blue sea. She smells like a salty breeze and a little dribbling cheese. Sounds like Ashley to me. Starting out in Greenwich, summers at the San Pond, Hampton, Middlebury Ponds. Then she finally came to her inn, kissed a girl and living in the sin. Wonder girl in the classroom had some real breeze. Got herself knocked up, scandal in the diocese, but she just made Tim Rob a little more queer. Things don't come in blue, she won't wear it. Oh no, she'd rather bear it. Oh yeah, sounds like Ashley to me. Spends her time by the deep blue sea. She smells like a salty breeze and a little dripping cheese. Sounds like Ashley to me. Chillin' now, but she'll find another job to do. Yeah, you know, we've all seen it through a few. Out on Miller Avenue, dressed like a gorilla. Smoothie bars into the parallel. Kids toss her cookies. Things don't come in blue, she won't wear it. Oh no, she'd rather bear it. Oh yeah, sounds like Ashley to me. Spends her time by the deep blue sea. She smells like a salty breeze and a little triple cream cheese. Sounds like Ashley to me. Turning 50 ain't no bad news. Ain't no bad news. Rocking your board shorts and all that baby lube. Ashley at 50. Turning 50 ain't no bad news. Ain't no bad news. Cause you're just a big kid and a freak and we love you. Ashley at 50. Things don't come in blue, she won't wear it. Oh no, she'd rather bear it. Oh yeah, sounds like Ashley to me. Spends her time by the deep blue sea. Smells like salty breeze and a little triple cream cheese. Sounds like Ashley to me.
Okay, who's next?
Yeah. First of all, these are kick-ass balloons. Oh my God. I mean, look at these balloons. Oh, they're stuck. Look, they sparkle and the jelly sparkles. And, I mean, come on, that's really fun. Well, I realized today that I should say something, and you know, I'm someone of such few words. Probably no wonder I became a teacher, so I could just sit and talk all day long. First of all, just some thanks to everyone who, you know, brought balloons and made this event possible in the slideshow, and I can't even, you know, say all the thank yous, and I'll do those certainly later, but
On monogram paper.
and the what?
Monogram paper.
Oh, my monogram paper.
Yes.
Yeah, I designed that a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was so fun, so we put that on the flip books. I hope everyone got to make a flip book. Yeah. They just seem like my kind of party favor, being silly and then getting to take home proof of the silly. I do need these now. So that slideshow was wonderful. Thank you. I don't know if it was seemed like an advertisement for, I don't know, a mental institution or one of those things that they advertise for medications that you have no idea what they're for. No. But don't take this, it might give you a heart attack or acne or a limb might fall off. Something like that. So, thank you for this wonderful night of verbal stoning, so to speak, and not only highlighting my flaws, but allowing for them. I could be like a honey badger and say I don't care, but you know, that wouldn't be true. So 50, what does 50 mean? You know, 50 always seemed like the Stone Age to me. When my mom turned 50, I was 26. I was just about to move out here, and I think, wow, I barely got out of diapers with my child at this point. But now anything's old that's about 15 years older than I happen to be. You know? And, you know, they say 50 is the new 30. In my case, I feel like 50 is the new 8-year-old boy, which is what I feel like most of the time. Any age you are is now the new 30, I think they. So, I looked up and there were a couple other people turning 50 this year. And I just thought I'd mention a couple of them because I think you probably confused me with them a lot. Like Diane Lane or Brooke Shields. Who else? Elizabeth Hurley, Shania Twain, Paulina Periscova, Linda Evangelista, you know, famous world models. I get confused with them all the time. And it's not because we're all turning 50 this year. I mean, clearly. Or Bjork. I think it's the outfits. Because she is also turning 50 this year. And J.K. Rowling, you know, well, she's written a few books, whatever, big deal. You know, my friend Desiree, she just turned 50 last week. Woohoo! You know, she's looking good. It's the no gluten. Got to start on that. But then I think, gosh, I am doing actually better than some people turning 50 this year, like Charlie Sheen, winning! Andy Dick, Jim Bob Duggar. Well, he's had a few children, but... And then people always confuse me with Dr. Dre. I mean, honestly, I think I look a lot younger than Dr. Dre, but he's turning 50. But mostly, the two people who are also turning 50 that I actually do get confused with are Slash and Carrot Top. So, poor Carrot Top. So, things about turning 50. Do I like to wear glasses? No! Do I want a colonoscopy? No! Do I look 50? No! Do I act 50? Yes. No. I don't really know what 50 is. I mean, mostly I feel like I'm still 18 with 32 years of experience. And that's how I feel like I am. But anyway, I just want to thank everyone so much for being here. And when you think about the prized possessions, and you could list a number of things, for me it's you. It's everybody in this room and some people who couldn't be here, but I am an extrovert in every meaning of that word. I truly derive my energy from being around the people whom I love. And the more I surround myself with those people, the better I feel, the better person I am. And, you know, I have certain groups of friends here from groups in my life, whether it be schools or friends or family or newfound friends, and it makes me tick. It's what drives me. And I could be like on my deathbed on the couch, and if someone says, "Hey, I want to come over for dinner," I'm like, yes, yes I do. Because I can't bear to like not have that experience. And that is how I feel. I love the experience of being with the people that I love. And it's so joyous for me to think that a whole bunch of people came here because I had a birthday, and that's just so amazing. And whether you came from a mile down the road or came from a few hours away, I just thank you so much for being here to celebrate being together. And you know, the birthday happens to be the excuse, but boy, I just love being around people, and I love being around you people. So thank you so much for being here, and have another cocktail. And there is brownies.